Business Live, Ghana Revenue Authority sets the 1st of April to begin taxation of e-commerce businesses of non-resident Ghanaians.
The portal has been developed to ensure that the non-resident persons engaged in cross-border business will be able to register, file, and pay the applicable taxes just as their local counterparts.
The Ghana Statistical Service begins moves to measure intensity of illicit financial flows into the country and drivers between the year 2000 and 2020.
This agenda can only be possible when illicit financial flows and other means that drain resources from our economy are blocked and the funds rightly channeled for productive use.
And as the country grapples with rising prices of food items as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, government announces massive investments in reviving irrigation schemes.
Huge assets that have been mismanaged, that have been abandoned. If we were to bring all these assets back to life, Ghana Irrigation Development Authority will be one of the richest state organizations.
My name is Daryl Kwawu. Thanks for being with us tonight. Details in a moment. Thanks for staying with us. First up tonight, the Ghana Revenue Authority has set the 1st of April to begin collecting taxes from non-resident Ghanaians who operate online businesses or e-commerce. The move is to ensure that the country mobilizes adequate revenue and widens the tax net for national development. Speaking at the launch of the e-commerce portal for tax registration and compliance, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Daryl said all is set to ensure the taxation of non-resident online businesses.
The portal that has been launched to track and trace earnings of social media and online businesses is going live before the April deadline for collection of taxes. This initiative will serve as a pilot with the overall aim of taxing all social media and online operations in the country. Here is Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Daryl.
To realize the full potential, especially from the non-residentials in the digital economy, the portal has been developed to ensure that the non-resident persons engaged in cross-border business will be able to register, file, and pay the applicable taxes just as their local counterparts. It will enable bridging the tax to GDP ratio challenge that we have, so that as in Ghana, we can also move our tax to GDP ratio to the 16.5, 17.5, and 20%.
Although this is just a pilot phase, the country is likely to generate some 1.7 billion cedis within the first year of implementation.
Yes, currently we are expecting that initially we should be able to do about 1.7 billion for this. Yes. But going forward, we expect that if the volumes also increase, we'll be able to also increase the revenue. And then, as I said, this will also be used later on. In fact, not even later on. We also have the system in place, same system in place that we're going to use for the EVAT. And the EVAT is something that we have talked about for some time.
All non-compliant companies will be blocked from doing any profitable business in the country through a system operated in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana, also known as social media tax. This tax mechanism will also cover.
The Ghana Statistical Service has begun moves to measure the intensity of illicit financial flows into the country and the drivers between the year 2000 and 2020. The move would not only help improve revenue mobilization, but also provide the necessary data for measuring and tracking sustainable development goals. There is more in the following report.
According to the 2022 Economic Development in Africa report, estimates show that illicit financial flows through trade, misinvoicing, inflows and outflows, amongst others, amounts to $10.98 billion. Dr. Faustina Frimpong Angwa is the Deputy Government Statistician and has been speaking at a workshop on Ghana Statistical Service UN Conference on Trade and Development, United Nations Economic for Africa workshop on measurements on illicit financial inflow.
Resources from our economy are blocked and the funds rightly channeled for productive use. Dwelling on what my senior colleague has mentioned, there are so many things that go on within the country that draw away or drain our resources. Illicit financial flows involve any form of an illegal capital flight that occurs when money is spent, the funds from Ghana's tax authorities.
Technical advisor to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dominic Nab, said illicit financial flows continue to become a ban on the country and therefore there is the need to fight it to the core. He cited examples in the petroleum and mining sectors of the economy.
Ghana as a country, our clarion call for Ghana be and channel the funds into productive use. She also mentioned that obviously our investment efforts would see a big reduction unless maybe we are able to reverse the current trend in the illicit financial flows.
Mr. Nab later told the media that it's unfortunate multinational companies are taking advantage of illicit financial inflows to shortchange.
Especially the petroleum and then the mining sectors. These are areas that we are supposed to actually raise so much. If you look at the fact that Ghana as a country, over the years that we have been doing mining operations, we don't have so much to show even for it. That means that the multinationals are actually taking us for granted, taking away our resources, and these resources are not actually renewable. So if we don't actually get our acts together, we are going to lose so much.
Illicit financial flows involves the movement of money that is illegally acquired, transferred or spent across the borders of the country. The main activities of illicit financial flows are fiscal smuggling of money or assets, import and export trade misinvoicing, profit shifting and transfer to wealth to evade taxes.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture is to spend 17 million cedis to compensate poultry farmers affected by bird flu beginning this week. The payment will range from 10 cedis per chick to 80 cedis per bag of feed. However, only farmers who have their certificates of distraction approved by the Veterinary Services Directorate qualify for the payment. Yes, I
expect disbursement of compensation for their culled birds and destroyed feed and eggs. According to the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Ozu Efri-Yakuto, 17 million cedis out of 20 million cedis has been allocated for compensation.
To ensure all affected farmers from July to December 31st, 2021 receive some compensation for any losses incurred as a result of the outbreak, the Ministry has agreed to pay 30 cedis for a matured bird, 20 cedis for a pellet, 10 cedis per chick, 80 cedis for a bag of feed, and 10 cedis for a crate of eggs based on the amount available immediately. Affected poultry farmers between July and December 2021 should collect their certificates of destruction from the Veterinary Services Directorate and submit to the Finance and Administration Unit of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture for commencement of payments.
Director for Veterinary Services Directorate, Dr. Patrick Abake, sounded a warning to importers of chick.
To any part of this country without certification, from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, for that matter, the VSD, and that of APD. When you send birds there and you have problems, and we come there, we are going to destroy the birds without any compensation. And in the future, we even have what do you call it? We'll have we will close down farms where they are not supposed to be. We have that legislation coming on.
Executive Secretary for the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, Lawrence Amati Tete, lauded the ministry for digitizing the poultry sector and compensating farmers despite challenges.
If we fail to resource the veterinary service to be in a position to regulate the activities of the poultry farmers, if you are able to improve upon urbanization, regulate imports and all that, we could be affected by bird flu. So I commend the minister for such a wonderful effort in compensating victims of the bird flu, and also the biometric registration of the farmers to regulate the activity.
While still with the agri sector, as the country grapples with rising food prices as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has disclosed that government has injected about $105 million in the revival of 3 irrigation schemes in Tono, Ver, and Pung. According to the minister, Dr. Owusu Kutu, the country could save millions if equipment and facilities were treated with much care. Speaking at the inauguration of the new and generate revenue for the country.
Irrigation is important because it accounts for about 40% of global food production and remains the corner block of agriculture in Ghana. Irrigation started in Ghana in the early 1960s. However, irrigation schemes have been mismanaged over the years. The Agri Minister, upon inaugurating the new board for the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, charged the board to be contributors of the economy.
I don't think that if you stepped out of this ministry onto the street and you ask anybody what is Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, they will be able to identify what it is. And I think that if you look at the access, I've been around all the sites. You look at the amount of assets that have just been vacated and left in the bush to rot, including buildings, machinery, and all kinds of things. That if you put the value on all these abandoned assets, you come to the conclusion that this $105 million that we spent in the last few years doing the rehabilitation pales into insignificance. Huge these assets back to life. Ghana Irrigation Development Authority will be one of the richest state organizations, but it is not. It's still receiving subventions from government, and Ghana Irrigation Development Authority should be generating money for us in this ministry to pay ourselves and not go to the exchequer to be paid every month.
Chairman of the governing board of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, Owusu, pledged to harness the abilities of members to ensure the growth of the authority.
Honourable Minister, we are committed to harnessing our joint experiences and skills to establish a framework of governance that will transform GIDA and mainstream its activities into the socio-economic transformation of Ghana. We have pledged to work with the management and staff of GIDA to address the issue of sustainability, scheme management, asset management, attracting commercial farmers, as well as the use of technology in GIDA's operations.
The 11-member board of the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority has Engineer Wilson Dakwa as chief executive.
And the soaring food prices, that will be subject for Joy Business Social, which comes to you on our social media platforms at the top of the hour. We will be discussing with Edward Karewe, General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, on what and Francis Danso, Content Manager at Isoko. And so that's at 6 p.m. across our social media platforms, Joy Business Social. Tonight, don't miss it. You're watching Business Live. Still to come, we'll be in Tamale, where the Customs Division has exceeded import revenue target by several fold.
Tamale collection was able to exceed its import revenue target by a very huge margin of over 500%.
Welcome back to Business Live. Let's recap our headline on our program tonight. The Ghana Revenue Authority has set the 1st of April to begin taxation of e-commerce businesses of non-resident persons. And while still on the subject of revenue, the Collection Office of the Tamale Customs Division has for the first time in history increased its import revenue from 1.5 million in 2020 to 35 million cedis at the end of 2021. Even though the service had earmarked 5.2 million cedis as import revenue target, it exceeded the mark several-fold.
Speaking at an awards night to honor the men and the women of the service for their commitment and dedication to work, the sector commander Tamale Collection AC Oreni Bediako said petroleum target was 123.95 million, but they were able to rake in 319.01 million, a percentage increase of 157%. He mentioned some strategies, including voluntary compliance as measures used to achieve this success.
I state that the Tamale Collection has been performing quite well in its revenue collection effort. It's worthy to note that with all the challenges and difficulties amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, with its attendant impact on the world economic order, the Tamale Collection was able to over 500%. The Tamale Collection has for the first time in history increased our total imports revenue from 1.5 million cedis in 2020, and by the end of 2021 to raise it to the total imports revenue of 35 million cedis, as against the 5.2 million import revenue target given to the Tamale Collection.
AC Orene Bediako said even though the sector made a huge success in their target achievement, it is one of the terrain with several challenges.
It must also be noted that the Tamale collection has one of the most difficult tax compliant public, arduous terrain, porous and unapproved routes, totaling 40 within the jurisdiction. Upon all these challenges notwithstanding, the combined effort of my affable management team and my own self, we were able to set this enviable record. It's happy to note that an officer from the Tamale collection got the Best Worker Award nationwide.
William Podo was adjudged the overall best performing officer.
All right, time for your money tips on Money Lab.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Money Lab. What is an interim dividend? A preliminary distribution of profits by way of a dividend before determining the full dividend to be paid for the year is an interim dividend. An interim dividend is a dividend payment before the release of the final financial statements in some cases. This declared dividend usually accompanies the company's interim financial statements.
And before we go tonight, we want to show you what is trending on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Agric Ministry to spend 17 million cedis to compensate poultry farmers. We brought you that story. Also, avoid Freedom Coin transactions. We've not approved it. That's the Bank of Ghana to the public. You can catch all the day's latest stories on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwawu. Thanks for watching our program tonight. We will be back same time tomorrow.